Right, this video is basically a follow-on from the last one I've just made, which was called The Great Flood, or One Of, and this is going to be the be-all and end-all to proving what I've been trying to show you in this. It's going to be the last time I do this because it's not my thing, but even recent history, we're talking over the last few hundred years, has not just been hidden, it's completely contrived and fake, and I'm going to show you that it's fake to such an extent. We're talking about Egyptologists faking everything, all the artwork and everything, and when it's not fake, we are literally talking about cities, like I've showed you before, that are underground, houses that they are calling tombs. They are not tombs, they call everything tombs. Yes, they are tombs, because everybody died in them, right? But you know what I'm getting at. And I'm just starting with this, you'll see why. And yes, obviously, I show there have been many creations on this world of varying beings and sizes, right? I'm putting this in because it links up to something that I'm going to show you later. I'm not going to get into this because I've done it before. The type of technology you need to create and do this sort of building and artwork. Yeah, but everything was built like this in the area. Like I say, I'm going to move on. There's areas like this, and this is not natural. I've shown it before. I might link some videos in the corners through this video, linking to other videos I've done. But this is where, this is rebar structure, okay? This is where steel and iron, yeah, just like we build today, a high-rise, skyscraper, yeah, and you pour concrete, right, and and in the centre you've got rebar, and you pour concrete around it, and this is all that's left, and all this is eroded concrete, and this is basically what Egypt looks like. It's what it is. This is Egypt, okay, and this, I don't know exactly what it is. I wish I was there to look at this, but this just looks like a huge girder, a huge iron girder, which will be in like a skeleton. It will be the skeleton to this structure, which is now underground, could be hundreds and hundreds of feet, and anything that's on the top is all eroded, and it creates a hard surface. I've done videos on that before, but that's what I think that is. I think that's an iron girder, and Egyptologists have come, and obviously, if you look at these writings here, I want you to compare that writing to all this erosion on here, and I want you to know, along with me here now, that this has been done by Egyptologists. Right? Look at it. Look how fresh it is. I'll get into this in a bit. This is the floor outside the Great Pyramid, right? And it's like how the Great Pyramid is built itself. It's rebar structure built like this, and it all slots into each other. So yes, there are older civilizations, right? But these so-called tombs, many of them, they're not tombs. What I've just shown you on the floor outside the Great Pyramid, yes, is how this thing is built. And all this is just hardened concrete that's eroded, got wet, and hardened again, and it creates a floor. Right? This has not been scratched out, bored out by primitive human beings that did artwork like this, if they did this artwork at all, because look how fresh it is. How long do you think paint lasts in damp conditions? Look at this roof and tell me now if you think that this paint on this wall was done around the time that this roof collapsed? Or do you think they were living in this condition? Do you think they were living in here when this roof was created? No, they weren't. This has all been removed. I've shown you these. These are eroded houses. I'm talking skyscrapers that are eroded. All this is eroded concrete. Egypt is not just a desert, it is literally eroded concrete. Just like any city on earth now, after so long it would all erode into this stuff, and you would be left with the inner core, which are steel and girders, and that would erode away to nothing or be removed by Egyptologists. Okay, this is the Valley of the Kings, right? And all what you're seeing on this picture is an eroded city and structures. This is eroded concrete. I'll zoom in on this one for you a little bit. If you don't worry, if you don't see what I'm showing you right now, you will do by the end of the video. This, can you see the colour of this structure here? I don't know which tomb it is, I don't care. But can you see how that just looks like lime? Yeah? Compared to this stuff up here, because this is a structure that's eroded away, right? And they've recently started to excavate around here a little bit, right? Because they can't do too much. You know, they can't let this get out. And there's obviously stuff below it, yeah? So if the stuff below this thing that they say was bored out by Egyptians with no technology, then what is this doing below it? Because this is the same area that I've just showed you, right? And these are human-sized bricks. What humans work with like we do today. We're not giants. And they had no technology. But these are bricks that's inside all this structure. And girders, yeah, rebar structure like humans build, and they always have built, and that knowledge has never been lost. But all this is all lime that's ran out of all this concrete and created a hard surface, right? And all these lines here is where rebar was. These holes here are not just holes for birds to live in, it's where rebar has rusted away and this structure's fallen down and you're left with bricks in it. Okay, this is the Valley of the Kings, right? I want you to look at this, because in this you can see holes and other things, right? But I mean, look at this. This is just mud. This is literally where a flood has just dumped a load of clay on an area. I don't know where this is, right? Dumped a load of clay on an area, and then they've come and just bored it out, because you will be able to bore this out, right? Even with no technology, it's just mud. Okay, then you'd be able to create primitive artwork, which is what all Egyptian artwork looks like. It looks like children's work, doesn't it? It's not the work of advanced civilizations, is it? But not only that, this is what I'm going to start showing you now, right, for the next 10 minutes. Underneath this whitewash, you can see older paintings. This is what I'm going to start showing you. Can you see these older paintings underneath this? You've got lines and people, yeah? And then another era, humans have come, whitewashed over it, and created more work, because this was a house, yeah? What they are calling tombs are not houses, not tombs, they're all houses which are now buried. I've pointed out that in earlier videos, but I'm going to make it absolutely definitive by the end of this one. right? This is mud. It's mud. Houses. That's what the Egyptians built with. These are not tombs, guys. They are houses, just like every other one. This is mud. This is the Valley of the Kings, right? But look how fresh this is here. This was not created that long ago. I mean, I've been showing you paint that can't be that old. How old do you think this is? Or who did this? Because it's not, I mean, it doesn't even look 100-year old to me. This is Karnak, right? And this is from a human era. But these pillars, which they tell visitors, yeah, are megalithic, they're not. I want you to look inside that hole there, and you will see that this entire pillar is built from brick. It's built from mud brick or fired brick, and then it's clay over the top of it. And then another era has come, or civilization, and smeared mud, clay, a clay surface over it, and then created artwork. It's right there. And these cross beams up here, I've got an image shortly, right? These beams are hollow, right? I've got some pictures from Greece and St. Petersburg, which isn't exactly the same as this. This is actually a wooden frame. It's a wooden frame, and then they smear clay over it. It's almost exactly how the Romans, the so-called Romans, built. I've done a video on that. This is Karnak, yeah, and if you can't tell that this is mud, this is not blocks, this is mud. And then another civilization has smeared mud over it, right? This is Karnak again, and you can see that this is hollow. It's built from mud brick. Look, there's bricks there, right? And you know, there'll be a wooden frame as well, like I'm going to show you shortly in Greece. This is St. Petersburg, right? And it's been repaired. And this is in London. Most of London and every major city, yeah, that we have now is built no different to this. And it's wood. And then it's got a facade over it, which makes it look like brick. But it's not, is it? This is Greece. And you can see that this has fallen away, and it's just a wooden frame with plaster over it to make it look like things, you know, that I normally show from different worlds, megalithic stuff. But it's not, it's just a wooden frame with plaster over it. Right. These images here, right, I'm showing you now, are just on any Google search, right? If you go do any Google search at all, you will find these images, right? I'm not getting into which tombs they are and when this and that. I'm just showing you the images, and you can go find them yourself. So